Okay, so we want to get our data from Excel into our staging tables. By the way, I didn't mention when I created the tables, I've called the table holding this data order items. And the reason I've done that is that orders is a level of aggregation. This isn't at that level of aggregation. We've got one order here with 3 rows, 3 different items. So to me, that's order items. I'm going to have an order table. In fact, I'm going to have more than one order table at order level of aggregation in the data warehouse. I don't want to confuse myself. So this is order items level of aggregation. I'm calling it order items. So my nerdy thing, but I always like to be clear about the level of aggregation of each table and name it accordingly. So the way I'm going to do this, you could use, most SQL editors will have some kind of import wizard. You could use that, but I'm just going to show you a method that maybe you have or maybe you haven't come across, but you'll find plenty of tutorials on the wizard. This may be something new to you. So I'm using, I'm going to do insert into statements row by row, and I'm using an Excel formula to do that. So actually, if I just show you the result of the Excel formula in Postgres, so if I pop that into there, you can see the result of that formula is just an insert into statement, insert into database, schema, table, and the values. We don't need to specify the fields because our source data and target table share exactly the same columns in exactly the same order, exactly the same fields in exactly the same order. So there's our statement, terminated with a semicolon. That's important so that it does one at a time. You'll see why in a moment. So I'm just going to run that and see if that works. Yes, success. So let's just check that it's worked. Select everything from order items. And just run that. And there we have it. We have our row of data successfully imported. So let's delete that from that for now. You wouldn't normally use delete from without a where clause, but in this case we've only got one row, so it's not a big deal. So let's copy that formula down. By the way, I'll share this formula underneath the video. All it is just, you know, the string in quotes, insert into Superstore, yada yada yada. And then just using ampersands. You could use concat, but I'm just using ampersands to join together all of the single quote value, single quote comma, single quote value, single quote comma, and so on. So I'll paste that down below. Right, so we've copied that formula down, and now we are going to discover a problem. Whoa. Undo. What on earth have I copied here? Right, so I want this column here. Okay, so now we're going to come across a problem. So I'm just waiting for this to, right, okay. So you want to give this a quick eyeball before you import it. By the way, if you used an import wizard, you'd come across the same problem and need to mess about. But if you look here, what we want to see is all of our functions in this case in Magenta. Might differ, you know, based on what editor you're using, but you want your functions in your function color, you want your objects in your object color, in this case blue, and you want all of your kind of values in this case red. But something's gone awry. So we're at the beginning and something has gone wrong in this row here. What is it? What has gone wrong? Okay, manager's chair. So we've got an asterisk, an apostrophe in here that SQL is reading as a single quote. So just pop that back in. I'm just going to do a quick and ugly here, just because I want to get this built and we can worry about how we're going to robustly handle things like this later. So right now I'm just going to highlight everything other than my formula field. Do a find and replace. I want to find apostrophes and replace with nothing. I want to replace all. Okay, there were almost 400 of them. So now, once again, I want to select all that. I can delete all this, paste all this, and this should look a bit tidier. Yep, okay, looking good. Give it a quick eyeball, have a little scroll around. It's all looking pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this. And query completed. I just want to do a quick count. Let's just get rid of all this. Quick count to make sure that everything's been imported. So count everything from, what was it, superstore.staging. Order items. And that should be one less than our count of rows in SQL. So, oh, select count. Goodness sake. Okay, so we have 10,194 rows in our table. And if I just highlight that and have a count, 10,195, but that includes the header. So we're all good. Everything's looking pretty good so far. What I might do is leave you to use the same principle. As I said, I'll share the Excel formula below, and I'll leave you to figure out how to import data from people and returns. If you want to cheat and use the import wizard, you can go ahead. Bear in mind, we don't need this column. Everything in here is returned, so this is kind of not really required. So I'll see you in the next tutorial where we'll start. Actually, we're going to deal with those dates first. Those that date field with the two different data types.